Thank you and good morning. I'd like to declare the Scenic Regional Council Ordinary Meeting for Wednesday the 25th of June 2025 now open, and would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land that we meet and pay respect to elders past, present and future. I believe we have no apologies and a full attendance today. There is an exception in terms of Councillor Moriarty for Division 3 is dialling into the meeting online. Good morning, Councillor.
Good morning, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, welcome to the chamber, Pastor Jack McDonald from the Harvest Point Church. Thank you, Pastor Jack, and hand it over to you for prayers.
Thank you very much. It's my privilege to be here today with you. Press the button. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Tom Sharp, for the privilege to be here with you and to be here with you as the councillors, as the public servants to this incredible region. I have just moved to take on the church at Harvest Point Church here in the Scenic Rim in this last 6 months, and it is my privilege now to serve beside you in this community and serving its people and serving this beautiful area. And the word of God in Romans says, 12 verse 1 says, "Beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercy of God, to present your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and acceptable to God, and do not be conformed to this world and its ideologies, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may know what is the perfect and acceptable will of God," or in essence, what is the purpose of God in our lives. And whether you have a faith here today or you don't have a faith, inside of every single one of us, I believe that we want to live for a purpose and have a purpose. And this scripture talks about renewing our mind to that purpose and to have a focus to it. And it's so easy as leaders. I've been for the last 25 years leading churches for the Hills Council in Sydney. We ran the Performing Arts Centre there for them for 3 years with over 200,000 people through the doors each year. And then I've now run businesses from the last 10 years, and now I've put my hand back up to run a church again. And in the process of all of that, it's amazing how, as a leader, you always have people that want to give an opinion of the way you do leadership. And most of them come to you with a cup half empty perspective. And the Bible says here to renew our minds, not to the ideology of those thoughts, but to keep a strong mind. And it's so easy in the middle of all this when people come and bring sometimes a right perspective, but in a wrong way to you, and it can affect you, and it can affect your mind when it's a personal attack. And I just want to bring this thought of what it is to renew your mind back to the purposes of why you did what you did, why you put your hand up to be a public servant. Just like I am in the church world now, I'm a public servant. I serve my community in the church, but I also now have the privilege to stand beside you as councillors to serve this great community in the Scenic Rim. And so I'd love just about to stand with you today, because the Bible says if we don't do that, that we become unstable in all our ways. It says a man or a woman that's double-minded in their mind becomes unstable in all their ways. And that reality is it doesn't just affect your life in this room here, but it affects the way you look after your kids and your marriage and all those things. It says you become double-minded in all those aspects. And so I want to stand with you and pray with you as councillors today that you can have strong minds in making the great decisions of leadership and moving this great region forward as it's growing and flourishing. That God can bless you as the councillors, and then God can bless this region, and not just bless you in this role here, but bless your families and bless your marriages and your partners and your families. And so can I just stand with you today? Thank you, Jesus, for these incredible people. Thank you that they are now custodians of this region. God, that they have a unique set of circumstances, gifts, personalities that now make up this room to be able to fashion and move forward this great region. Today, God, I pray you would bless their lives. We hold them before you today. We thank you for your strength and your protection and your guidance over their lives today, God. I pray that they would be strong in purpose and in vision so that this region can flourish because of its leadership, that they wouldn't just be a lid, but they would be unlocking to the incredible blessings of this great region. We thank you for the leader, Tom Sharp, and for this great council today, God. We bless them today. We thank you for their lives. We thank you for the gift of God in their lives. And we pray that purpose would fill them with their heart and that their mind will be strong according to that purpose. In your name we pray. Amen. And amen. Thank you for the privilege.
Pastor Jack, thank you very much. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your prayers.
Appreciate it.
And of course, I know it's 6 months goes very quickly, but welcome to the region, and wish you very well, all the very best with Harvest Church and the parish.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I believe we have no public question time today. Could I call upon members to make any declarations for conflict of interests? Councillor Cryer?
Thank you, Chair.
Would you like to just raise the fact you're going to, at which item you're going to raise your conflict?
Yes, I'd like to raise that I have possibly a declarable conflict of interest in item 11.11.
Thank you, and we'll address it then. Councillor Hay.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to identify that I have a prescribed conflict of interest in item 12.2 in confidential matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, we'll raise it at the time. All right, moving on. Announcements today, just very quickly, if I may. I'd like to refer to King's Birthday Honours recipients for our region. Councillors, it gives me great pleasure to acknowledge this morning members of our Scenic Rim community who were recognised recently in the 2025 King's Birthday Honours list. Mrs Rose Nairn of Tamborine and Dr Alan Seckham of Tamborine Mountain have each been awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia, while Mr Wayne Kirk of Boona has been recognised with the Ambulance Service Medal. Mrs Nairn's award was recognised of her service to the communities of Canberra and Batemans Bay with numerous organisations, including the Salvation Army and Lifeline, as well as groups working for the benefit of the environment, people with disabilities, Aboriginal health, education and women in business. Dr Seckham has enjoyed a long and distinguished career as a general practitioner in the Moolumbar district and as a medical educator, and has served environmental, sporting and community organisations, including as inaugural president of both the Moolumbar Cricket Club and the Wollumban High School Parents and Citizens Association. While these Orders of Australia Medal recipients have both been honoured for their service to communities outside the Scenic Rim, I am sure they will continue to make valuable contributions as residents of our region. The Ambulance Service Medal awarded to Mr Wayne Kirk recognises his integrity, courage and outstanding patient care to the community throughout a 27-year career. Not only has he provided exemplary care in the critical emergencies, he has also supported first responders and volunteers in supporting their communities. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge the commendation of brave conduct recently presented to Dugandan's Senior Sergeant Michael Mild by Queensland Governor Dr Jeanette Young during a ceremony at Government House in Brisbane. This award recognised his apprehension of an armed man while serving with the Northern Territory Police in 2022. And I am pleased to acknowledge Senior Sergeant Mild as a valued member of our Scenic Rim community. I hope the service of all our award recipients will be an inspiration to others across our region. Thank you. I believe we have no petitions for presentation today, and now call upon a motion for the floor for the confirmation of minutes, please. Councillor Cryer.
I'd like to move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 28th of May 2025 be adopted.
Thank you. Seconded. Councillor Sanders. Those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Call upon a motion for the special meeting. Councillor McInnes.
Yes, Chair. I move that where are that the minutes of the special meeting held on 19th of June 2025 be adopted.
Seconder, Councillor Chalk. Those in favour? Carried. Councillor Moriarty?
Yes, he has voted.
Thank you. Carried unanimously. I now move to business arising from the previous minutes. Nothing from the members? Councillor Moriarty?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Now move to item 11.1 and call upon Councillor McInnes.
Thank you, Mayor. It might be a great pleasure to introduce 11.1 Corporate Plan 2025 to 2030. We've been through this as a council a number of times, and I believe that it is what the whole organisation ticks off of, and we abide by it, and and there are changes from time to time, but I will go straight to the recommendation. I take it councillors have read it. I'd like to move that one, council note the results of the community consultation undertaken between 16th of April 2025 and 12th of May 2025 outlined in this report. And two, council adopt the corporate plan 2025 to 2030, attachment 1. 3, council delegate authority to the chief executive officer to make minor grammatical and formatting changes to the corporate plan 2025 to 2030 if required after its adoption and prior to publishing on council's website for public access, noting any such changes will be advised to councillors prior to publishing. And finally, 4, council note that the adopted corporate plan 2025 to 2030 will replace both the community plan 2011 to 2026 and council's current corporate plan Scenic Rim 2026. I so move.
Thank you. Could I have a seconder to the motion? Councillor Hay? Councillor McInnes, would you like to talk to your motion?
No, I'm right, thanks, Mayor. I think it's been through there. As I said, it is what we spent a lot of time doing this, and it was, I believe it's the right things moving forward for us, and we should be going back and looking at this more than it's not a document that we want to put in the drawer and forget about. We should be trying to live our mantra by with regards to this corporate plan.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to talk against the motion? Any questions, comments? Councillor Sanders?
Just a little bit of a comment for everybody watching out there. There was overall support for the strategic goals, although some concern expressed about effective implementation and ensuring sufficient investment to achieve the necessary outcomes. That's always an issue. Community feedback emphasised the importance of careful management of growth and appropriate infrastructure for the region as the population continues to increase. Under economic development, support for small business emerged as a key priority. Recycling and weed management was seen as particularly important by the community, and community feedback emphasised how important strong community spirit and connection were, and noted that council played an important role in supporting community resilience and preparedness for disaster events. There was significant feedback in support of improved facilities, such as sport and recreation. So I think we've done, our staff have done a huge amount of work on this. Like Deputy Mayor said, we need to continually look back and check where we're going, make sure our goals are in place and we're achieving them. And I absolutely support our corporate plan.
Thank you, Councillor. So I guess two major points was to take that to the community as far and as wide as possible, to give the opportunity to listen to the community for that engagement, and the council did attempt to do that as best as possible. That feedback was provided to align with the vision. The vision has been delivered, and then I guess the potential questions that were raised or potential criticism is that can that vision be, and goals and actions be attained? And it is the promise of this council then to drive forward that we do deliver on these goals, actions, as best as possible, and that it doesn't become a motherhood statement, is really what the message, I believe, came from both councillors. So thank you. I'll put that motion to the floor. Those in favour? Councillor Moriarty? Voting in favour, sorry. Thank you for that. Carried unanimously. Move to item 11.2 and call upon Councillor Cryer.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to introduce...
Mayor, if I may just make a statement on this. Sorry, Councillor Cryer. Just for openness, I had been a councillor on the RNA for some time, but I am not now. I'm just a figurehead, I suppose you might say, as an honorary councillor, but I'm no real involvement in the exhibition. But just for openness, I should say that.
Thank you, Councillor. Acknowledged. Councillor Cryer.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to introduce item 11.2, Special or Show Holiday 2026. I take the report as read. Each year, in accordance with the Holidays Act 1983, local governments are invited to request special holidays to be observed during the following year for districts in their area. On the 10th of June 2025, the Chief Executive Officer received correspondence from the Office of Industrial Relations inviting Council to consider requesting special and show holidays for 2026, which are listed in attachment 1. I would like to go straight to the motion to move option 1, that 1, Council note the community feedback of May 2022, that the first Monday of the annual Royal Queensland Show is the preferred public holiday for the Scenic Rim region, and 2, Council resolved to nominate Monday the 10th of August 2026 as a public holiday for the Scenic Rim region for 2026.
Thank you, Councillor Cryer. Councillor Sanders, just a second. Did you want to talk to your motion?
Not really. I just said it's a great holiday to put in place, and I'm glad to move the motion for it.
Thank you. I think we acknowledge the importance of the annual Royal Queensland Show and what it means to the state and the people of our region being major contributors to the Royal Exhibition. And without anything further, I'll put it to the membership. Those in favour? Thank you. Carried unanimously. Call upon Councillor Chalk to introduce item 11.3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, today I'll be introducing report 11.3, which is MCU 24/160, development permit for other change, material change of use, intensive animal industry at unnamed road, Tamrookham, described as Lot 4 RP 44913, Lot 4 RP 50685, Lot 1 RP 58176, Lot 3 RP 58176, and Lot 2 SP 263574. I'll take the report as being read by councillors and just probably say that the proposed development has demonstrated compliance with the relevant codes of the Regional Planning Scheme 2020 as amended 30th of June 2023 through the submitted material within the application. So on that note, I'll move the following motion. That 1, Council receive and note the report titled MCU 24/160, development permit for other change, material change of use, intensive animal industry at unnamed road, Tamrookham, described as Lot 4 RP 44913, Lot 4 RP 50685, Lot 1 RP 58176, Lot 3 RP 58176, and Lot 2 SP 263574. 2, Council approve development application MCU 24/160 and grant a development permit for material change of use for intensive animal industry, subject to the conditions as outlined in this report. And 3, Council note that any subsequent request for a negotiated decision notice and/or change application to the approval MCU 24/160, as well as any administrative corrections to the conditions, will be processed via delegated authority where the changes would not significantly alter the original decision. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I call on a seconder to the motion? Councillor Hay, thank you. Councillor Chalk, you wish to talk to your motion?
Not this time, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions arising? Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? That being said, I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour, Mayor.
Thank you. Motion carried unanimously.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, can I just take 1 second to say one thing?
Please.
I'd just like to wish Joseph, our planner, all the best for his future endeavours. He's intending to leave us, which is a sad moment for us councillors who work with you for the last few years. It's been a pleasure, and I think you've really come along and done some great things for this region and this council. So, as part of the councillors and the mayor, on behalf of the councillors and mayor, just like to wish you all the best and hope you do great things in your future, which I'm sure you will. And if you ever need to come back, I'm sure we'll we'll take you back with open arms. So thank you very much and all the best.
I'll be all official and say through the chair, thank you very much. I've appreciated this council very much in terms of giving me the opportunities to advance my career, exposing me to a lot different parts of the organisation, how our council runs, and it's been a wealth of knowledge I've taken away from this, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Joseph, we can only wish you the best for the future and for those that you'll be serving down the track. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Chalk. Now move to item 11.4 and call upon Councillor Hay.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to introduce item 11.4, proposed issue of a lease to community organisation, Tamarind Mountain Little Theatre Company Incorporated. By way of background, the council acquired ownership of this property in 2006 by way of a land swap with the Tamarind Mountain Rainforest Trust. And the Little Theatre Group has had a lease since 2009 from 10 years with 2 3-year options, and that lease is due to expire on the 30th of June this year. So we're proposing to extend that lease. This group runs all sorts of different activities at the Zamia Theatre, which benefit the local community immensely. And these range from just providing meeting areas to afternoon and evening film sessions. They present live theatre as well. And I think there's a church that meets there as well. It's a very well utilised council facility, and it's good to see that the Little Theatre Group took the initiative to add improvements which have included, by way of grant applications, the theatre, the storage shed, a car park, water tanks and solar panels. So as a tenant, I think or as a lessee, they've been exemplary in their actions in maintaining and improving a council facility for the benefit of the community. So without adding anything further, I will go to the motion that 1, council resolve that the exception under section 236(1)(b)(2) of the Local Government Regulation 2012 applies to the proposed grant of lease to the Tamborine Mountain Little Theatre Company Incorporated for premises situated at 22 Main Street, Tamborine Mountain, Lot 1 on RP 77682, and 2, council endorse a 5-year freehold lease on standard terms as issued by council for Tamborine Mountain Little Theatre Company Incorporated, expiring 30 June 2030, and 3, council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with section 257(1) of the Local Government Act 2009 to execute and finalise a lease agreement to Tamborine Mountain Little Theatre Company Incorporated. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Seconded to the motion. Councillor Sanders. Councillor Hay, would you like to talk to your motion?
I think I've covered it all. Thank you.
Very, very well indeed, and it's the coverage that you've given has obviously provided excellent recognition of a outstanding community group within the Tamborine Mountain community. Thank you. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? Then I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour.
Thank you, councillor. Carried unanimously. I move on to item 11.5 and call upon councillor Moriarty.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my pleasure to introduce item 11.5, the proposed issue of lease to community organisation Beachmont District Land Care Association Incorporated. I'll introduce the motion as recommended. I'd like to move that 1, council resolve that the exception under section 2361B2 of Local Government Regulation 2012 applies to the proposed grant of lease to Beachmont District Land Care Association Incorporated for premises situated at Lot 2 on RP 90133, situated at 6 Spinnaborough Road, Beachmont. 2, council endorse a 5-year lease on standard terms as issued by council for Beachmont District Land Care Association Incorporated, expiring 30 June 2030, and 3, council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with section 2751 of the Local Government Act 2009 to execute and finalise a lease agreement to Beachmont District Land Care Association Incorporated.
Thank you, councillor. Seconded to the motion. Councillor Cryer. Councillor Moriarty, would you like to talk to your motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to acknowledge the Beachmont Land Care Group. They've been established since 1992, been in operation for well over 30 years now. I frequently visit the group on the first Monday of the month when they hold their working bees at Pioneer Reserve and other locations up on Beachmont. They're an extremely dedicated band, fairly small band of volunteers, but very dedicated, and the work they've done over a long period of time along Back Creek and other locations is testament to their commitment and the work they do for the environment and the Beachmont community, and just highly commend them and thank them for all that they do for the community.
Thank you, councillor. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour.
Carried unanimously. Thank you. Call upon councillor Chalk to introduce item 11.6.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. 11.6, proposed issue of a lease to community organisation, the Burner and District Cultural Foundation Incorporated. This report relates to my division. I take it as being read by the councillors. Look, I'll move the following motion, that 1, council resolve that the exception under section 2361B2 of the Local Government Regulations 2012 applies to the proposed grant of a lease to Burner and District Cultural Foundation Incorporated for premises situated at lease area D, Lot 2 on RP 153509, situated at Coronation Park, Coronation Drive, Burner. 2, council endorse a 5-year lease on standard terms as issued by council for Burner and District Cultural Foundation Incorporated, expiring 30th of June 2030. And 3, council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with section 2571 of the Local Government Act 2009 to execute and finalise a lease agreement to Burner and District Cultural Foundation Incorporated.
Thank you. Seconded to the motion. Councillor Cryer. Do you wish to talk to your motion, councillor Chalk?
Just to say that this organisation has 102 members, which is quite a substantial membership group. So I'm pleased that they are continuing their community involvement, and I'm pleased to offer them this lease. So,
thank you. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? I put it to the floor. Those in favour? Councillor. Thank you. Carried unanimously. Call upon Councillor Sanders to introduce item 11.7.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Item 11.7, proposed issue of lease to community organisation, the Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club Incorporated. I might just go straight to the motion, but I'd like to speak to this if I may. I propose motion option 1, that 1, council resolve that the exception under section 2361B2 of the Local Government Regulation 2012 applies to this proposed grant of lease to the Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club Incorporated for premises situated at 22 Josephville Road, Josephville, lot 65 on CP 816517 and lot 67 on SP 140503. 2. Council endorse a 5-year lease on standard terms as issued by Council for the Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club Incorporated, expiring 30th of June 2030. And 3, Council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with Section 2571 of the Local Government Act 2009 to execute and finalise a lease agreement to the Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club Incorporated.
Thank you, councillor. Could I have a seconder to the motion? Councillor Chalk. Councillor Sanders, would you like to talk to the motion?
Yes, I'd just like to add some background for our audience watching. The Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club is currently affiliated with the Australian Quarter Horse Association. They became an incorporated association in October 1987. In 2025, the Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club has around about 145 members, adults, and around 45 junior members, and they have around 16 official days each year, including 10 additional training weekends. And when you go past, the car park is obviously full. The club hosts large events which attract competitors and spectators from all over Australia and prides itself on creating a positive atmosphere for everyone involved, welcoming members of all ages and abilities. During the term of the lease, the Bow Desert Cutting and Western Performance Club have undertaken improvements to the lease area through donations to the club from the estate of Sue West, and also they're pretty good at writing grant applications. Some of the improvements today include the following: the arena, the office demountable, canteen demountable, 3 toilet demountables, 4 portable shelters, 3 open air sand areas, watering facilities and solar panels. This is the group that is very active and enthusiastic. They have a great executive and management committee, and they have a view to a long-term future at the site. So we need lots of active groups like this. These are truly fantastic, and I'm sure we all wish them every success.
Indeed, councillor, and I guess that's a key point that you make, is that the enthusiasm going forward is not just what they've achieved in the past, but the ongoing commitment by this group to expand their membership, increase their competition and improve the facilities. So congratulations to that group. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour.
Thank you, councillor. Motion carried unanimously. Call upon Councillor McInnes to introduce item 11.9.
Oh, I might do 11.8 first, if that's okay,
Sorry.
Mr Mayor. We've
I've
jumped
jumped
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, we're going too fast today.
Okay,
Oh.
Councillor Sanders, 11.8.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to introduce item 11.8, proposed issue of a lease to community organisation, the Queensland Country Women's Association at Bow Desert. Again, I'll move straight to the motion and talk on this at the end. I propose motion as per option 1. Council resolved that the exception under section 2361B2 of the Local Government Regulation 2012 applies to the proposed grant of sublease to Queensland Country Women's Association for premises situated as part of Lot 32 on SP 326203, yet to be registered, situated at Selwyn Street West, Beaudesert. 2. Council endorse a 5-year lease on standard terms as issued by Council for Queensland Country Women's Association, expiring 30th of June 2030. And 3. Council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with Section 2571 of the Local Government Act 2009 to execute and finalise a lease agreement to Queensland Country Women's Association.
Thank
Sorry,
you,
it's a little
Councillor.
long.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I have a seconder to the motion? Councillor Cryer. Councillor Sanders, you'd like to talk to your motion?
Yes, please. Just to add some background, please. The Beaudesert branch of the Queensland Country Women's Association was formed in 1927. They previously occupied CWA restrooms in the vicinity of the Beaudesert Hotel before it burned down in 1946. The current CWA hall was, until 2024, situated next to Council Chambers on Brisbane Street before being relocated to its current position at Selwyn Street West as part of Council's Beaudesert Town Centre Revitalisation Project. The relocated hall received a new facade and veranda, a new patio, kitchen and toilet facilities at the rear, and improved parking access. The building renovation were completed late 2024, with the association taking occupancy of the facility in December 2024. The official reopening of the facility was held 10th of February 2025, with a current membership of around 29 members. So these people do great things in the community. They let out the rooms to many other groups in the local community. And again, we want to absolutely support what they do, and this is a great group.
Thank you, Councillor, and my apologies to the Chamber and the gallery for that oversight. I would never be so remiss to forget the Queensland Women's Association and the many associations right across our region for the work they've done for decades and is ongoing, and an icon to the state and the nation. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour.
Thank you. Carried unanimously. Now I'll call upon Councillor McGuinness to introduce item 11.9.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll like to introduce 11.9, Delegations Register Update, Council to Chief Executive Officer. I will go to the propose the second resolution, second option, rather, I'll get the word right, and that is that Council decide further work is needed on the Delegations Register prior to considering the register for adoption.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I call upon a seconder to the motion? Thank you, Councillor Chalk. Councillor McInnes, would you like to talk to your motion?
Yes, I will, Mayor. It was raised by a councillor that, looking through it, they believed there was some further work needed to be done on there, and it's not I'm against this motion, but I think we should make sure we do it right the first time and have a look at it. Yeah, I often say, I think the community out there often believe we're sort of a lot more operational than what we are, and the condition and the core of this is that we have to delegate a lot of authority to the CEO, and who subsequently delegates it onto other staff. And I'm not against the doing this, but we just have to try to make sure we have it right before we tick off on it. So there's it needs some more consideration there.
Thank you. Is there any questions arising from the motion or comment? Councillor Hay?
Thank you, Chair. Just a comment that I believe that the issues that have been raised in relation to reviewing the content have been addressed. I'm not aware that there's anything else still outstanding to be further reviewed. Hence, I won't be voting for this motion. Thank you.
Just, if I may correct that, Councillor McInnes, I have actually a series of questions that were put, and it was with unfortunate timing, to the governance officer that are outstanding, and unfortunately the governance officer is on sick leave at this point in time, CEO. Annual leave. My apologies. And is returning, so it's unfortunate that is not in attendance at this meeting. So in actual fact, Councillor McGuinness is correct on that measure. But I do raise the point, and if we can, if I can ask the CEO to make a comment on this, because we actually have a compliance issue with regards to this motion.
So through Mr Mayor, I received feedback from the state government that most councils are trying to keep up with their delegation guidelines at the moment. It's quite difficult to do. As is indicated in the report, we already have the subscription service that goes through King & Co. So whenever there are changes to the delegations, they're immediately updated through the subscription through there as well. I don't know if you want to say anything, Acting General Manager.
Thank you, CEO, and through the Chair. So there has been some changes to the delegations and some new delegations added in on recommendation through the subscription service. There's also some that have been taken out. So really, with these delegations, it's around getting those new parts in there and deleting those that are no longer required for now. And the only other change at this point in time was a recommendation from a councillor on some part of the delegation, which is actually prescribed in the original recommendation. There's no reason why we cannot still go back and have a look at these delegations if there's to be further changes to them, and to continue to work on them so that they are continually updated and a document that council can work with further.
Okay. Well, on that note, there's I find no issue with putting with the motion. Is anyone wishing to? Did you wish to talk further to your motion, Councillor McGuinness?
No, I take on board what the Acting General Manager said there and the CEO. If it can be changed, that's the case. Yeah, I haven't got anything else to add.
With that said, I put it to the floor. Those in favour of the motion? Those against? Yeah, Councillor Moriarty.
Sorry, Mayor, I'm just not sure. From what I'm seeing online, I do apologise. What was the motion we're actually voting on? Sorry, because the motion I have in front of me, I'm not sure that that's the motion that we've actually voted on. Can I just get clarification, please?
I'll read the motion. Or Councillor McGuinness, would you like to read the motion again?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Councillor Moriarty, it was option 2 that council decide further work is needed on the delegations register prior to considering the register for adoption.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm in favour, thank you.
Okay, well, the motion has been defeated. Call for a division. In favour?
Okay, so 4 and 4, rest against.
Mr Mayor, can I put option 1, please, as a motion?
Certainly, councillor.
Thank you. I propose option 1 on this item. 1, that council delegate the powers nominated in the attached delegations register to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with section 2571B of the Local Government Act 2009, and 2, council include a condition for the delegation under section 241 of the Local Government Act 2009 for the legal proceedings involving the Planning and Environment Court. The Chief Executive Officer can only sub-delegate that authority to the General Manager, Regional Development, Health and Biodiversity.
Seconded to the motion. Councillor Chalk. You wish to talk to the motion, Councillor Sanders?
Yes, Mr Mayor. I think it's very, very important that we can continually review and upgrade our delegations register. This is how the organisation functions. It's very strong that we must be very strong in delegating our powers down and cascading through the organisation so we can function on a day-to-day basis. And I'm happy to put that motion. Thank you.
Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? All right, I'll put it to the floor. Those in favour? Councillor Moriarty?
Against, Mayor, please, sorry.
Corporate division. Motion carried. I call upon Councillor Hay to introduce item 11.1.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to
11.10,
introduce 11.10. Yes, I'd like to introduce the Council Monthly Financial Report for May 2025. I take the report as read. It's quite an extensive report, as it is every month, and I'll go straight to the motion, and then I'll be asking for the officer to speak to a portion of that. Thank you. Okay. The motion is that Council receive the monthly financial report for May 2025.
Could I have a seconder to the motion? Councillor Sanders. Councillor Hay, would you like to talk to your motion?
Yes, thank you, Chair. It is an extensive report. They seem to be getting better and better as time goes on, which is good to see. Well done. I would ask the officer through the Chair to please, if they could speak to, scroll to the right page. Yeah, page 117 on the agenda, the executive summary, if you wouldn't mind speaking to the background to why there have been some changes up and downwards for net operating surplus or deficit, operating revenue, operating expenditure, and capital revenue, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. Through the Chair, the financial results for May 2025 reflect a stronger than anticipated financial performance, with a net operating surplus of $1.4 million above expected budget expectations. Although operating revenue was lower than budget to the end of May, this was largely due to the timing of the receipt of an operating grant, and it's expected to realign by 30 June. And I might just clarify that until the news of the financial assistance grant, it was expected to realign, but as we know from the financial assistance grant, we'll be receiving less this year than what was budgeted for, so that will be a variance at the end of the year. Fees and charges continue to remain strong, largely through building certification and refuse tipping fees. With respect to operating expenditure, that's overall well under budgeted expectations, with the main reason being resheeting program due to delays in weather. It has been offset to some degree by unbudgeted counter disaster operations and emergency works. With respect to capital expenditure is significantly lower than budget, mainly due to timing delays in the delivery of fleet plan items, the reseal program, and town master planning, which is the Brisbane Street improvements. Although largely completed, still just waiting for the financial invoices to come through on that project. The overall program for capital is $18 million behind budgeted expectations. However, commitments and orders outstanding total $30 million. So there's a lot of orders that have been raised and just waiting for the ability to supply the orders. In terms of cash, Council maintains a healthy cash position of $53 million, which is $3 million above budget, bolstered by the higher operating surplus and deferred capital outflows. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Comment? Councillor Moriarty?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour, Mayor.
Thank you. Carried unanimously. I now call upon Councillor Sanders to introduce item 1111.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry.
Oh.
Before we do,
Yep.
just turn to Councillor Cryer in terms of you wish to raise a conflict.
Yes, thank you, Chair. For item 11.11, Destination Scenic Rim Partnership Update, relating to the section of the development of a joint visitor guide with Visit Scenic Rim, where specific business advertising will be available to all tourism businesses on a limited space availability basis, is mentioned. From having been in the publication and advertising industry, this, although I don't feel I have, potentially may present a declarable conflict of interest in the eyes of others. From having this knowledge and experience of the industry, I would like to stay in the room for the discussion, but I'm also happy to step out if others feel this is necessary.
Thank you, Councillor. Can I have a motion from the floor?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to move the motion that Councillor Cryer does not have a conflict of interest and may remain in the room and take part in the discussion and voting on this item.
Could I have a seconder to the motion? Councillor McInnes. Those in favour?
In favour.
Carried unanimously. Thank you. Turn to Councillor
Thank you.
Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 11.11, Destination Scenic Rim Partnership Update. Before I move the motion, I might just give a little bit of background, just for information. Destination Scenic Rim was created in 2019-2020 to combine 3 local tourism operators and create a single entity for the region as Destination Scenic Rim Incorporated. This was undertaken to ensure operators across the region collaborate and work together effectively to reduce duplication and allow marketing efforts across the entire region. DSR is currently managed by an executive officer and a chairman. They both work part-time, as well as the management committee, who are elected at the November annual general meeting each year. The budget allocation is $95,000, and it's in the Regional Prosperity Operational Budget through partnership agreement that is contingent on DSR meeting its obligations and deliverables as outlined in the business plan. These people certainly work hard. I believe that the business plan may need some tweaking, as the management committee need to have much more input into the business plan and set priorities and future long-term focus of DSR. I'd like to see the group focus its attention on building tourism resilience as we head into the Olympic Games in Queensland in 2032, as well as focus on building its members, linking with chambers of commerce and making sure their members are getting what they need. As the Tourism Portfolio Councillor, I will be recommending that DSR are funded for another year. However, I really want to see DSR do some strategic and long-term planning with their committee with a view to tightening up the business plan for next year. I also hope that their membership drive may show a dramatic increase in members, and I hope that I also hope that with Council and DSR combining, we may produce an excellent Scenic Rim visitor guide. And Council will continue to monitor and may provide some strategic guidance. So my motion, I'll propose option 1, that Council acknowledge the progress made by Destination Scenic Rim to date in representing the interests of the region's tourism operators and delivery of the Destination Scenic Rim business plan for 2024 to 2025. 2, Council endorse the current allocation of funds to be maintained from the Regional Prosperity Operational Budget and be included in the 2025-2026 Scenic Rim Regional Council budget for the continued engagement of Destination Scenic Rim under a partnership agreement for the delivery of initiatives outlined in Destination Scenic Rim Business Plan 2025 and 2026. 3, Council decline the request from Destination Scenic Rim for an increase in funding amount of $55,000 from the Regional Prosperity Operational Budget and be included in the 2026 Scenic Rim Regional Council budget. And 4, Council endorse the development of a joint visitor guide between Destination Scenic Rim and Scenic Rim Regional Council for the region and the allocation of funds from the Regional Prosperity Operational Budget and be included in the 2025 to 2026 Scenic Rim Regional Council budget to be applied to Destination Scenic Rim under a partnership agreement for the delivery of the Scenic Rim Visitor Guide. And just bear with me, I have to put my goggles on to see the last one. 5, Council request future business plans to include trend analysis and data, numbers of participants, last year's expenditure and future budgets for each initiative. So I've added number 5 on just to get a little bit more data and information from Destination Scenic Rim.
Councillor, point 3
Yes.
of your motion doesn't make any sense.
No.
So it's Council declined the request from Destination Scenic Rim for an increase in funding amount of $55,000. Yeah, that could be full stop if you want. Thank you. Yeah. So I think we were just a little bit carried away with some of the words there.
Shouldn't have to read that again.
No, it's fine. Maybe just note the words that we've taken out of 3.
So just to confirm my motion, on item number 3, Council declined the request from Destination Scenic Rim for an increase in funding amount of $55,000 and we're going to delete the remainder. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Seconded to the motion. Councillor Chalk, anyone wishing to talk? Councillor Sanders, you wish to talk to the motion?
I do want to say that this group is really working hard. I do think that they probably need to talk more with their members maybe and definitely with their committee, make sure that they set their priorities and go forward. They're definitely working hard for our region and we'll just continue to monitor. I think they definitely deserve the funding that we're providing them. I think we'll have a look at it next year when they come to us with their new business plan and we'll have another decision to make next year.
Thank you. Any questions? Comment?
Just a comment, if I may, Mayor. I would like to see that there was a bit more possible cooperation between the Chambers of Commerce, particularly the Tamborine Mountain Chamber and Destination Scenic Rim, because there does seem to be a duplication of effort. It would be good if we resolved that, because we do have chamber members paying for similar services that the Destination Scenic Rim is offering, and not all members of the chambers are necessarily members of Destination Scenic Rim. And given that this is ratepayers' funds that we're allocating, it would be good to see that Destination Scenic Rim actually represented the entire tourism operations, if you like, rather than just people who are members. So I just have concerns that it's council ratepayers' monies that are being spent on this, and I'd just like to see a little bit more reporting on the outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? Councillor Sanders, do you wish to sum up?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor. All done.
I put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour.
Motion carried unanimously. Now turn to item 11.12 and call upon Councillor Moriarty.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to introduce item 11.12 of the late item annual procurement exceptions, section 235A and 235B, local government regulations 2012. I'll take the report as read and introduce the motion. Just need to scroll down a little, please, Sharon, thank you. The council entered into contractual arrangements without inviting quotes or tenders under section 235A and 235B of the local government regulation 2012, where it is considered impractical or disadvantageous to source alternative providers due to supplier exclusivity or the specialised nature of their services.
Is that for discussion? I think you should go into close now.
Before we apologies to the gallery and the members, just need to check on one point of order. Okay. To the members, I'd like to actually move a motion to. Can you bring up the relevant?
Yes, I can. You'll have to decide which subsection you're going into.
Third party.
I'll have to find a subsection, Mr Mayor. We have to declare it. Give me 1 second. I'll just bring up the legislation.
That's why it's not going to be seconded.
Yeah, we haven't. We'll have to go with. Which one do you want?
G.
G? Okay.
My apologies, Councillor Moriarty. Just before you, and that's why I pulled that matter up in terms of not having the motion seconded. I'd like to move a motion that in accordance with Council Standing Orders for Council Meetings Policy and the provisions of Section 254J, subsection 3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, Council close the meeting to public to discuss confidential item as follows. Subsection G, negotiations relating to a commercial matter involving the local government for which a public discussion would be likely to prejudice the interests of the local government, as discussions will be held about negotiations relating to a commercial matter. Could I call for a seconder to the motion? Thank you, Councillor McGuinness. Those in favour?
In favour.
Carried unanimously. Thank you, and we will now go into close and return on the half hour. Thank you. I propose the motion that we come back into open session and move that motion. Seconded. Councillor Sanders. Those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Now, could I call upon a member?
I'm happy to do that.
Councillor Sanders.
I'm happy to move the motion, a motion that council withdraw item 11.12 from the agenda and a report be brought back to council at a later date.
Thank you. A seconder to the motion? Councillor McInnes. Put it to the floor. Those in favour?
In favour.
Carried unanimously. Thank you. And now call upon Councillor Hay to introduce item 11.13.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to introduce late item 11.13, establishment of preferred supplier arrangements. I'll go straight to the motion and then I'll just speak briefly to it. The motion is 1, council apply subsection 233(8) and subsection 233(9) of the Local Government Regulation 2012 to establish preferred supplier arrangements for categories of goods and services required on a regular basis. And 2, council endorse standard contract terms of 3 years with 2 optional 1-year extensions. And 3, council approve that longer contract terms may be awarded without a further resolution where the procurement process identifies documented cost savings, efficiencies or value for money benefits, and these are assessed and recommended as part of the tender evaluation.
Thank you, Councillor. Seconder to the motion? Councillor Cryer. Councillor Hay, you wish to talk to your motion?
Yes, Mayor. Okay. The benefit of the successful adoption of this motion to council is that it results in operational efficiency, reduces administrative burdens and supports timely services for the community. It offers value for money, market responsiveness and streamlined governance. So all of those efficiencies contribute to council's bottom line in the long run. So anything that we can do to speed up the supply and purchase of product that's necessary on an ongoing basis is a good thing. Thank you.
Concur. Anyone wishing to talk against the motion? I'll put it to the floor then. Those in favour? Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Carried unanimously. Before we move into confidential, I now call upon Councillor Hay to address a conflict.
Thank you, Chair. In relation to, when we get to the screen, 12.2, which is an update, JCI number 2 Family Trust versus Scenic Regional Council, P&E number 436 of 2023, which is in closed session under section 254J3E. I'm advising of conflict of interest in that item, which arises as a result of the fact that I was a submitter during the public notification stage of the development application, which was refused by council and is now the subject of a P&E court appeal. I intend to leave the meeting and take no part in the discussion or vote on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I have a motion from the floor in relation to confidential?
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering where we're up to.
I'm coming. There we go. No, wrong one. Just ignore that bit. There we go.
to do that, if you want me to read the
Thank
motion.
you, councillor Sanders.
I propose the motion that, in accordance with Council Standing Orders for Council Meetings Policy and the provision of Section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, Council close the meeting to public to discuss confidential items as follows. 12.1, proposed discontinuance of waste asset development operations and services project, close section 254J 3G, and 12.2, update JK number 2 Family Trust versus Scenic Regional Council, P&E number 436 of 2032, closed under section 254J 3E, as discussions will be held about negotiations relating to a commercial matter and mediation in a legal matter.
Thank you, councillor. Second to the motion.
Yeah, I think the councillor might have said 2032 rather than
2023.
Ah.
I am so sorry. Thank you. Please correct me. 2032. 23.
Seconded. Councillor Chalk seconded. Thank you. I will now go into closed session and look to come back on the half hour. Thank you very much. please have a motion to come into open?
Yes, Mr Mayor. That's it. Okay, sorry. After the following after the discussion in closed session, I propose that we go into open session.
Thank you. Seconded. Councillor Chalk, those in favour? Councillor Moriarty?
In favour.
Thank you. Carried unanimously. Now call upon Councillor Chalk to introduce item 12.1.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll introduce 12.1, which is proposed discontinuance of Waste Asset Development Operations and Services Project, which was closed under S254J3G. The motion that I'll move is that Council withdraw from the progression of the Waste Asset Development Operations and Services Project tender and explore other strategic opportunities for the future development of Council's Brompton landfill site.
Thank you, Councillor. Seconder, Councillor Sanders. I'll put it to the floor. Those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Councillor Hay. Now call upon Councillor Cryer to introduce item 12.2.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to introduce the following item, 12.2, update JCI number 2 Family Trust versus Scenic Rim Regional Council, P&E number 436 of 2023, closed section 254J3E. I would like to move the motion for option 1 that pursuant to section 257 of the Local Government Act 2009 Queensland, Council delegate to the Chief Executive Officer the authority to take all steps necessary to resolve Council's interest in the appeal of MCU 19/027 JCI number 2 Family Trust versus Scenic Rim Regional Council in the Planning and Environment Court, P&E number 436 of 2023, 2571 Beaudesert Beanley Road, Tamborine, lot 144 on RP 151365, with consideration to legal and expert advice, and 2, the Chief Executive Officer return a final recommendation for Council's endorsement following any mediated agreement to resolve the appeal. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconded to the motion, Councillor McInnes. Those in favour of the motion?
In favour.
Motion carried unanimously. I'll now call upon Councillor Hay to come back into the chamber. And Councillor Hay, you can read the motion on the screen for your information. Thank you, Councillor. And thank you everyone in the chamber and the audience. That will now draw the meeting to a close at 11:03 a.m. Thank you.